Recently I received a profound message from a spiritual mentor. This message resonated deeply within my soul. It felt like a sudden light in a very dark room. The mentor looked at me and said these exact words. Easy does it. At first it sounded so simple. It sounded like a cliché that people say when you are stressed. But as the days went by, those words began to expand. They started to uncover deep layers of wisdom that I never knew existed. This message inspired me to create this audiobook for you. We live in a world that praises constant hustle. We are told to run faster and push harder every single day. But what if the real secret to a powerful life is the exact opposite? What if the ultimate mastery is learning how to let go? In this journey, we will explore this beautiful philosophy from every possible angle. We will look at its history and its practical use. We will dive into the mental strength it provides. And finally, we will touch upon its deep spiritual essence. Welcome to a journey of slowing down. Welcome to the power of easy does it. The world around us is moving at an incredible speed. Technology demands our attention every second of the day. We wake up to notifications and fall asleep to anxiety. We are told that if we stop for a moment we will fail. This creates a state of chronic panic in our minds. We begin to live our lives like a race with no finish line. But the message from my mentor challenged this whole structure. He told me that the greatest power belongs to the person who can remain calm. When you practice easy does it, you choose a different path. You choose quality over quantity. You choose depth over speed. You begin to realize that your life is not an emergency. Nothing is worth losing your inner peace. This audiobook is your manual for reclamation. It is your guide to taking back your time and your sanity. Listen to these words with an open heart. Let them sink deep into your subconscious mind. Let them change the way you breathe and the way you move. You are about to discover a secret that the masters have known for centuries. Let us travel back in time to the 19th century. Imagine the massive wooden ships docking at the busy ports. The sea was a dangerous and unpredictable place. Sailors and dock workers had to move incredible weight every day. They had to lift heavy iron cannons and fragile cargo using primitive ropes and pulleys. One single mistake could cause a catastrophe. A sudden pull could snap a thick rope instantly. A dropped crate could crush a man or flip a small boat over. In those critical moments the captain would shout a specific command. Easy does it. This command did not mean to stop working. This command did not mean to be lazy or careless. It meant to apply maximum power. It was an instruction to move with a steady rhythm. The sailors learned that raw force is dangerous without control. They discovered that tension creates destruction. But relaxation combined with focus creates a flawless flow. When they moved smoothly, the heaviest objects felt light. The ship was safe because the men chose precision over speed. This is the historic foundation of our philosophy. True strength does not crash into obstacles. True strength glides through them with careful ease. Think about the physical reality of those wooden ships. The timber was heavy and the ropes were under immense pressure. If the men pulled too fast, the friction would burn their hands. If they did not coordinate their movements, the load would swing. A swinging load on a moving ship is a deadly weapon. The phrase easy does it was born from extreme necessity. It was a matter of life and death. The oldest and most experienced sailors always moved the slowest. They did not waste energy on panic or unnecessary gestures. They knew exactly where to place their feet and how to hold the line. They relied on leverage and balance rather than raw muscle. This historical context teaches us an invaluable lesson about modern life. We think that by rushing we get things done faster. But in reality, rushing creates friction. It creates mistakes that we have to fix later. It burns our emotional and physical energy. When we adopt the mindset of the old sailors, we change our approach. We look at our daily tasks not as a battle, but as a delicate operation. We apply our focus with smoothness. We lift our heavy responsibilities with rhythm and grace. We understand that true productivity is about stability. The tension in our muscles is a sign of inefficiency. When you watch a master at work, you notice the lack of strain. They move with a gentle certainty that looks effortless. This effortlessly is the highest form of skill. It is the result of aligning with natural laws rather than fighting them. When you force a key into a lock, it might break. When you turn it gently, the door opens wide. As time moved on, the phrase found a new home. It became a cornerstone in the world of personal recovery and healing. People who were fighting deep addictions adopted these words as a lifeline. When a person tries to rebuild their broken life, they often feel overwhelmed. They want to fix every mistake in a single day. They want to heal every relationship immediately. But human psychology does not work that way. The mind breaks under too much pressure. The spiritual mentors in recovery programs understood this deeply. They told the newcomers to remember, easy does it. They taught them to take life one single day at a time. If one day is too hard, you take it 1 hour at a time. You do not need to solve the problems of next year today. You only need to handle this exact moment with gentleness. This practical approach saves lives. It removes the heavy burden of perfectionism. It allows a person to grow slowly without breaking. When you stop rushing, your progress becomes permanent. You build a solid foundation that can withstand any storm. Easy does it is the ultimate medicine for a stressed soul. Consider the enormous weight of shame and regret that people carry. When you enter a process of recovery, the past looks like a mountain. You look at the wreckage of your life and you want to run away. The temptation to force a quick solution is very strong. But a quick solution is always an illusion. Real transformation requires patience and time. The mentors knew that the ego wants everything right now. The ego wants instant validation and instant success. But the soul grows in silence and repetition. By repeating easy does it, you silence the demands of the ego. You give yourself permission to be imperfect today. You accept that healing is a non-linear journey. Some days you will take 2 steps forward. Some days you will take 1 step back. And that is completely acceptable. As long as you do not give up, you are moving in the right direction. This philosophy protects you from burnout. It teaches you to celebrate the small victories. A single sober hour is a victory. A single calm conversation is a victory. A single moment of conscious breathing is a victory. When you stack these small victories day after day, you build a new life. This life is strong because it was built slowly. It was built with careful attention and self-compassion. We must apply this exact same compassion to our career and goals. We are often recovering from the trauma of overworking. We are recovering from the false belief that our worth equals our output. It takes time to unlearn this toxic pattern. It takes courage to step away from the chaotic crowd. But when you do, you find a deep reservoir of authentic energy. Let us look at this philosophy through the lens of modern psychology. Scientists often study top athletes and elite artists to understand peak performance. They wanted to know what happens in the brain when someone does something perfectly. They discovered a mental state called the flow state. In this state, a person is fully immersed in what they are doing. But the most surprising discovery was the lack of tension. A master archer does not freeze his muscles when he shoots. A world-class surgeon does not grip the scalpel with panic. Their bodies are completely relaxed. Their minds are perfectly quiet. They operate with a sense of effortless ease. When you force things, your brain enters a state of fight or flight. Your vision narrows and your creativity disappears. You begin to make mistakes because you are trying too hard to succeed. But when you adopt the easy does it mindset, you unlock your true potential. You allow your subconscious mind to take over the hard work. You stop fighting the task and you become one with it. The work begins to do itself through you. This is the mental transition from anxiety to supreme confidence. Think about a musician playing a complex piece on the piano. If they think about every single note, their fingers freeze. The conscious mind is too slow to handle that much data. The music only flows when the musician trusts their training. They relax their wrists and let the music move through them. The same principle applies to your daily work and creative projects. When you approach your work with tension, you block your intelligence. You become hyper-analytical and critical of every step. This creates writer block and decision fatigue. The philosophy of easy does it helps you bypass this mental barrier. It allows you to enter the zone where your best work resides. You approach your tasks with a sense of playfulness. You do not worry about the final grade or the criticism of others. You simply enjoy the mechanics of the process. Your focus becomes sharp, but soft at the same time. You become responsive rather than reactive to your environment. This mental shift transforms your relationship with effort. You realize that hard work does not have to feel painful. It can feel deeply satisfying and smooth. When your mind is quiet, your instincts become razor sharp. You hear the subtle whispers of your intuition. You make connections that you would normally miss in a rush. You become a channel for creative energy. The pressure evaporates and the genius emerges naturally. Now we enter the deepest domain of this philosophy. In many ancient spiritual traditions, there is a concept of non-action. The ancient sages called it wu-wei. This does not mean sitting on a couch and doing nothing at all. It means aligning your personal will with the natural flow of the universe. Think about a river carving its way through a massive mountain. The water does not fight the rocks with anger. The water does not complain about the long distance to the sea. It simply flows down the path of least resistance. Yet over time the soft water completely shapes the hard stone. This is spiritual power. When you practice easy does it, you stop resisting reality. You accept the present moment exactly as it is. You realize that you cannot control the weather or the actions of other people. You can only control your own inner state of peace. You drop the heavy armor of worry. You open your hands and you let life happen. When you surrender your need for control, you actually gain ultimate freedom. You become like the wind that moves through the trees without getting caught. You are at peace because you trust the divine timing of your life. Every spiritual teacher talks about the importance of detachment. Detachment does not mean that you do not care about your life or your goals. It means that you do not tie your identity to them. You do not allow an external event to define your worth. If a project fails, you do not view yourself as a failure. You understand that it is simply a lesson in the school of life. This understanding allows you to look at every challenge with a clear perspective. You no longer view your problems as permanent walls. You view them as stepping stones that help you grow higher. When you operate from this higher perspective, everything changes. You stop forcing people to fit into your expectations. You let go of the need to always be right in every argument. You choose peace over conflict every single time. This is the true meaning of spiritual maturity. It is the ability to remain calm when the world around you is screaming. The universe has its own perfect rhythm. The stars do not rush across the midnight sky. The flowers do not force their petals to open before the spring. Everything unfolds in its own seasonal time. When you align with this rhythm, your life becomes graceful. You stop fighting the currents and start riding the waves. You feel supported by a force that is greater than yourself. How do we apply this beautiful philosophy in our modern busy days? It begins the moment you open your eyes in the morning. Instead of grabbing your phone immediately, you take a deep breath. You tell yourself that today you will move with grace. When you walk to your car, you do not rush. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you let them pass with a smile. You choose your peace over your pride. In your work, you focus on one single task at a time. You close the extra tabs on your computer, and you slow down your breathing. You realize that urgency is often an illusion created by fear. When you feel overwhelmed during the day, you use the phrase as a mantra. You repeat silently to yourself, "Easy does it." These 4 words act like a reset button for your nervous system. They drop your shoulders and release the tension in your jaw. They remind you that you are a human being, not a machine. You deserve to experience your life, not just survive it. By introducing small pauses into your day, you change your entire reality. You become a magnet for positive energy and clear thoughts. Let us examine the habit of micro-rushing. We often rush through small things like boiling water or walking to the elevator. We do this subconsciously without realizing the stress it creates. Each small moment of rushing sends a tiny shock wave through your body. By the end of the day, your body is completely exhausted. The solution is to turn these small daily tasks into moments of meditation. When you wash the dishes, feel the warm water on your hands. When you make your coffee, smell the rich aroma before you drink it. When you speak to a coworker, look them in the eyes and listen fully. These small changes cost nothing, but they change they build. You become the master of your time rather than its slave. You realize that there is plenty of time for everything that truly matters. Notice how your body reacts when you slow down your speech. Your voice becomes deeper and more grounded. People listen to you with greater respect. You communicate authority without using any force. Slowing down your movements also changes your physiology. Your heart rate drops and your digestion improves. You are no longer wasting precious adrenaline on minor tasks. You preserve your physical health for the long journey of life. There is a beautiful paradox hidden inside this mindset. The less you desperately chase success, the faster it comes to you. When you are desperate, your energy feels heavy and needy. People can sense that tension and they naturally move away from it. But when you operate from a place of easy does it, you emit a different frequency. You radiate peace, stability, and joy. Opportunities begin to find you because you look like a safe harbor. You do not need to manipulate or force situations to get what you want. You simply do your best with a light heart and leave the results to the universe. This creates a high-quality life. You no longer view your goals as a matter of life and death. They become a beautiful game that you play with joy. If you win, you celebrate. If you lose, you smile and try again tomorrow. Nothing can steal your joy because your joy is not attached to the outcome. Your joy comes from the simple act of being alive right now. This is the ultimate secret of the masters. They achieve great things because they never lost their inner peace. Consider the concept of magnetic attraction. The things you want are attracted to clarity and calm. When you clear the fog of panic, your path becomes visible. You make better strategic choices because your vision is clear. You invest your resources wisely because you are not acting out of desperation. This effortless success looks like magic to the outside world. People will think you are lucky or that you have a secret power. But the only secret is that you stopped getting in your own way. You allowed your talent to work without the heavy weight of your ego. You became an open channel for creativity and abundance. When you look at the most successful people, they do not look exhausted. They look like they have all the time in the world. They are not checking their watches every 5 seconds. They are fully present in the meeting or the conversation. This presence is a luxury that money cannot buy. It is a result of a deep inner decision to stop rushing. You can make that same decision right now. You can choose to step off the treadmill of anxiety. You can choose to attract your goals rather than chase them. Your inner state does not just affect you. It affects every single person who crosses your path. When you are stressed and rushing, you spread anxiety to your family and co-workers. You become reactive and easily irritated. But when you embody the easy does it philosophy, you become a source of comfort. Your calm presence settles the chaotic energy in the room. People feel safe around you because you do not judge their urgency. You show them by example that there is another way to live. You show them that it is possible to be successful without losing your soul. This is how we change the world. We do not change it by fighting the noise with more noise. We change it by becoming a pocket of absolute silence. One calm person can stop a conflict before it even begins. One relaxed mind can find a creative solution that a stressed mind missed. Your peace is your greatest contribution to humanity. Protect it with all your heart. Think about the environments you enter every day. Think about your office, your home, or the grocery store. Most people in these places are running on adrenaline and fear. They are trapped in their own mental storms. When you enter these spaces with a calm mind, you act like an anchor. You pull people back to reality. Your gentle tone of voice lowers their defenses. Your slow movements make them feel less rushed. You do not need to preach this philosophy to others.